Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And everyone, it's about that time. It's finally time for me to give you guys and gals my full review of the Zhiyun Smooth Q Gimbal. Now, I was originally planning to do my full review of everything all together, but some of these accessories have some issues with them that can trigger rant mode for me. So I'm going to review the accessories for the Smooth Q Gimbal separately, just so we can cut down on the length of this video. Alright, so this right here, the Ulanzi accessory, we're going to review that separately. The ADAI extension pole with tripod, we're going to review this separately as well. Okay? Alright, so the only thing we're talking about today in this video is the Smooth Q Gimbal itself. So let me put these off to the side real fast. And they're going to have separate videos dedicated to just them. Alright, just wanted to point that out before we get started. And real quickly, just want to cover some housekeeping real quick before we dive in. This whole video here today is being recorded using the rear-facing 16 megapixel camera on the Bold N1, and we're recording in 1080p at 30 FPS here today, okay? And we are not using any external audio for this video. So everything you guys and gals are seeing and hearing is coming directly from the Bold N1 itself. So please let me know what you think of the overall video and audio quality down below in the comments. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated. And as always, if this video runs over 35-45 minutes, it will be time-stamped for your convenience. Also, I've done a separate dedicated video on the video samples with the Smooth Q Gimbal and my 3 production devices. I'll have that linked up down below in the video description. So my 3 production devices are the LG V30, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Active, and the Samsung Galaxy S6 Active, which I'm holding upside down. So I've done a separate dedicated video samples only video demonstrating how these devices perform in the different resolutions, in the different lighting scenarios, using the Smooth Q Gimbal and all of its dedicated accessories. I'll link that up down below in the video description. If you guys and gals want to check that out, feel free to hit up the video description. Alright, so just wanted to get that out the way as well. So now, let's dive in, and I want to give you guys and gals my overall thoughts and opinions on this Smooth Q Gimbal, and hopefully by the end of this video you guys and gals will know whether or not it's worth picking up. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into this full review. Alright, starting off, the first thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall build and design of the gimbal itself. Now, talking about the gimbal from a build aspect, it's primarily built out of plastic with reinforced aluminum on certain areas. So your motors are made out of aluminum, okay? So we got one motor there, one motor here, and then you got a nice phone clamp here that's primarily made out of plastic and your grippy materials, and this can fit just about any size phone, right? And you can see you got a full dedicated joystick here with mode buttons. Your joystick has nice grippy material on it, and the handle itself and the gimbal itself has a nice weight to it as well. So the overall build quality of the gimbal is top notch. Okay, talking about the overall design of the gimbal, I also feel it's top notch as well. Now, this is your typical 3-axis smartphone gimbal, and the thing that I like about this design is that they incorporated a battery on here, which you can use to charge your devices while using the gimbal. Right here you can see we have the USB-A port here, and then they also have incorporated micro USB for charging the gimbal as well, and they put all of your buttons and joystick right up front, and everything is nicely labeled and easy to use. So the overall design of this gimbal is top notch. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into the core features of the gimbal itself. Now, as I said, this is a smartphone gimbal, but some of the features that Zhiyun has thrown on here are really good. So you have your full dedicated joystick, which gives you full control over the gimbal. So you could do your pans up and down and your pans right to left in full 360-degree motion, okay? And you have your different modes for the gimbal as well. And you could take photos and record video with the gimbal as long as it's paired up to your device. And we have a zoom slider here, which is really, really nice. And again, in terms of other core features, this bad boy is packing a 12,650 milliamp hour battery, which on paper, Zhiyun says you can get up to 12 hours of continuous use out of it. Now, with my particular testing, I'm not using this bad boy for 12 hours straight, but I can tell you this, on a single charge, I can easily get through a week of usage with this bad boy. And to put that into perspective for y'all, in that week of usage, I would have to say at most I do anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes of recording at a time, and I could still easily get this bad boy to last through a full week. Okay, so the battery on here is a really nice feature, and that big battery on here is really good stuff. And in terms of the charge times on here, this does charge up via USB, micro USB, and it does take about 4 to 5 hours to charge. But being as this bad boy has such a big battery on board, I'm okay with that. Okay, other than that, some more core features include, we do have a standard thread here, so you can mount this to a tripod, or if you need to add on additional accessories which take advantage of this standard thread, you can do so. So that's also a really nice touch. Okay, and this bad boy does also come along with a dedicated companion app, so you can customize this bad boy and have full controls over the gimbal by using the companion app. Now, this is just my full review and overall opinions, but I've done separate dedicated videos on every and anything that has to do with this gimbal. So if there's a particular thing that you would like to know more about, please feel free to check out the video description so you can see all of my coverage on this gimbal right here. Okay, but in terms of core features, I have to say Zhiyun has done a great job. This bad boy is feature packed. All right, now moving on, let's get into some use case scenarios that you guys and gals could use this gimbal. Okay, so use case scenario number one, if you're a vlogger or you're interested in starting a vlogging channel or just any type of content creation channel in general, and you want to use your smartphone to do that, you don't want to go out there and invest in any type of dedicated camera, camcorder, DSLR, you just want to be able to use your smartphone and take some really nice steady footage, whether it be videos or photos, then you might want to consider this. This is perfect for walking vlog style videos or stationary videos. Okay, and it's really nice stabilization on here as well. So pretty much in terms of use case scenarios, anything that you could think of that you want to record with your smartphone, you can do with this gimbal. So pretty much your imagination's the limit, the sky's the limit with this bad boy right here. Okay, next thing I want to talk about now with you guys and gals is I want to briefly go over the positives and negatives of the gimbal. Then we're going to wrap this video up. We're going to talk about the price, and I'm going to give y'all my overall final thoughts and a recommendation or two. Alright, so let's jump into this. Let's start off with the positives first. And in terms of some of this stuff, it's going to be largely a summarization of everything that I've talked about. Some of it will be new, but mostly it's a summarization of everything that I've talked about. Now, talking about the positives. Again, I really like the overall build quality and design on this. Is top notch in my opinion. The overall core feature set on here is top notch as well. I do like everything that Zhiyun managed to pack in here, so good stuff there. Okay, the overall use case scenarios that I'm able to accomplish with this, whether it be motion video, still photos, so on and so forth, the overall versatility of this gimbal is top notch. All right, so good stuff there. And all of that is available for a really great price, which is a great positive, but we're going to talk about the price in a little bit here. So those are all the positives of this gimbal right here. Now let's dive into the negatives of this gimbal, and really, in my opinion, there's only two. Okay, two. Negative number one, and this is a big one for me considering I am a disabled individual. So this first negative is a really big thing that I noticed right out the box, and that is the overall weight of this gimbal. The gimbal is pretty heavy. I think it's about 1 to 3 pounds, and it is pretty heavy by itself, but it gets even heavier when you throw a device onto this bad boy. So Zhiyun, maybe for the next iteration, y'all might want to figure out how you can cut down on the weight. Now, I understand why it's so heavy, because you did pack in a really big, beefy battery on here, but I'm okay with sacrificing a little bit of battery life if you can cut down on the weight. Again, I'm not the type of person that's going to record 12 hours of straight footage, so I'm okay with having a little bit less battery life if you can cut down on the weight and make this a little bit lighter and a lot more manageable. Okay, so that's negative number one, and that was a big one for me. Negative number two, and this one is kind of a take it or leave it, but I did find that it's a little bit inconvenient for me, is the micro USB charging and the charging placement here. So you can see it's off to the side right here. So typically when I go to charge it, I have it set up on a tripod and I gotta plug it in like this, and that adds a lot of unnecessary strain on my cable. And then when I try to lay it down like this, it still adds a lot of unnecessary strain on my micro USB charging cables, which do break easily. Okay, so the overall positioning of the charging port, that's a negative for me. That and the fact that they went with micro USB charging on here. I would have loved to have seen USB Type-C. Y'all know I've made the full conversion to USB Type-C. Now it's not an issue to have micro USB because I have a bunch of micro USB cables lying around. So charging this via micro USB is not an issue, but the overall placement and the fact that it's not USB Type-C, that is a little bit of an issue for me. So hopefully, Zhiyun, maybe you can rearrange the charging mechanism to where it's down here. That would have made it easier, or off to the side right here. That also could have made it easier, or even just above the standard USB-A port that's right here. That also would have been a nice touch. And just so y'all see, this is a full-size USB Type-A port right here. But in terms of negatives, guys and gals, that pretty much does it. So the overall weight and the fact that they're using micro USB, not USB Type-C, those are the only negatives that I ran into with this gimbal. Okay, now that I believe pretty much sums up the positives and negatives of this gimbal. Now let's get into the last part of this video. Let's talk about the price and get into my final thoughts and overall recommendation. Now, price wise, I was able to pick this bad boy up for about 45 to 50 bucks. I'll have the screenshot up in post like I always do, so you guys and gals will know exactly what I paid for this one. But at that price of about 45 to 50 bucks, can I recommend that you guys and gals go out there and pick this one up? Well, I would have to say yes. Now, typically this bad boy runs for about $35 to at most $100. So I would recommend that you keep watching the price and you catch it when it's at its absolute lowest. Okay, for me that was about 45 to 50 bucks, but I did see it go as low as $35. Now this particular unit gimbal that y'all see here is a used like new condition one. Okay, so this wasn't brand new when I got it, but y'all can see it still looks fairly brand new. And this is over my usage where y'all see these scuffs right here, because I have not been taking it easy with this thing. I'm actually in the process of converting my setup from these stabilizers and tripod extenders to using a tripod extender and this gimbal right here. So when I'm fully done, this will be my main production tool on the channel. That and one of my extender poles and one of my favorite tripods will be the main production thing on the channel. So I'm actually in the process of doing that. Okay? But that being said, for that price of about $35 to $100, again, can I recommend that you guys and gals go out there and pick up this gimbal? I would have to say yes. Okay, especially if you can catch it at the lower price points of $35 and at most $50. Yes, go out there and pick this up if you're in the market for this type of thing. Okay, so that pretty much does it for this full review of the Zhiyun Smooth Q Gimbal. As always, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video and you found it helpful in any way, shape, form, or fashion. If you did find this video helpful, please help your boy out and give the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. If you guys and gals would like to see more content like this, as always, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. That being said, as always, if this video did pique your interest, all the links to where you guys and gals could pick up this gimbal at some really great prices will be available down below in the video description. So as always, if your interest is piqued, down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. So you'll be able to find the gimbal itself at a really great price and all of the accessories that I picked up for it. So the extender, the Ulanzi extender, the ADAI tripod, and extender pole, all the accessories that I picked up for the Smooth Q gimbal, plus the Smooth Q gimbal itself, will be linked up down below in the video description. Alright, that being said, I hope everyone has a great day, and I will catch you guys and gals in my next video. Peace everyone, we out of here.